Episode 1 starts and we see a man anxiously driving a van down a desert road. He appears to be running from something. He's wearing nothing but underwear and a gas mask, and we see 3 other men passed out in the van with him. So, only God knows what the fuck he was doing with them. He can't properly see through the mask, so he ends up crashing the van into a ditch. He breaks out, takes off the mask, throws it away in anger, and starts freaking out. It appears as if things have gotten out of control and he doesn't know what to do. We start hearing police sirens in the background, so it looks like he's running from 12. He manages to calm himself down, puts on a shirt, grabs what I presume is his wallet and a camera from the van, then starts recording a message to his family. He provides all his personal information and addresses his family by their first names. So now we know some of our main characters. His name is Walter White, which is literally the whitest white guy name I've ever heard. He lives in New Mexico. His wife's name is Skylar.
Your mom's name is Sarah.
Which just sounds like she was popular with the football team back in high school, if you know what I mean. And they have a son named Walter Jr., which already rubs me the wrong way because I don't understand why some parents can't just let their kids have their own identity. They just have to make it explicitly known that this fully fledged human being is nothing more than a miniature version of them. But hey, it's his nuts, he can name whatever he wants. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, before he goes back into the van, he holds his breath, and when he runs back out, he immediately starts gasping for air. So I guess that explains the gas mask and the unconscious individuals in the van. There's probably some chemical shit going on in there. Right before he steps out, he grabs a gun from one of the men and tucks it behind his underwear strap. He finishes up his little recording, places the camera and wallets on the floor, grabs the gun, steps out to the road, makes a gangster ass pose, points the gun in the direction of the sirens. The music rises, tension builds, and we cut to the intro of the show. The title card is made up of elements from the periodic table, so we can infer that this is going to be a scientific show of some sort. We cut to a suburban house at night and we see 3 weeks earlier plastered on the screen. So they essentially did that YouTube thing where they take the most interesting or dramatic event in the video and put it in the beginning as a way to hook the audience early on, keeping us glued to the screen throughout while we anxiously anticipate the chronological arrival of said dramatic events. We see Walter, and who I assume is Skylar, in bed, but he's wide awake. It's currently 5 a.m, so he either just woke up or he couldn't sleep through the night. He gets out of bed and we see a bunch of unopened baby products as gifts lying around the house, so they either just had a baby or Skylar is pregnant. He's making use of some type of workout machine as he stares at his Nobel Prize in the wall. He has a rather dissatisfied look on his face, so it seems like he might not be entirely fulfilled with the life he's living. We cut to a few hours later as he's having breakfast and we find out that it's his 50th birthday. So, midlife crisis. That would explain his sleepless nights. We don't see a protruding baby bump on Skylar, so either she already gave birth or she just got her baby shower presents way too early. She tells him not to work longer than his designated work hours today. Walter Jr. walks out in crutches, has a mini argument with his mom about getting a new water heater. Walter starts coughing and they have a discussion about a certain health problem he has been struggling with. So it appears the White family might have some money problems. But despite all that, it seems like Walter actually has a good relationship with both his wife and his son, so that's nice. Though his wife is a bit too assertive for my liking, but hey, to each his own. Walter drops off Walter Jr. in school and heads to work in the very same high school, so that explains the money problems. He teaches chemistry, so that explains the intro of the show. He's teaching intro to chemistry and there's a guy at the back of the class flirting with a girl, disrupting his lesson and actively antagonizing him. The guy's name is Chad. That's the second modern day YouTube reference from a show that came out in 2008. What the fuck is going on here? He also works a second job at a car wash where he has to wash Chad's car, the same kid that openly disrespected him in front of his entire class earlier that day. So I'm sure Walter is not exactly happy with the current state of his life at 50 years old. He goes home to a surprise birthday party. We find out Skylar is actually in the early stages of her pregnancy and we meet Walter's brother-in-law, who is a DEA agent. So essentially, he takes down drug dealers for a living. Everybody's watching his latest drug bust on the news and Walter gets exposed to the exorbitant amounts of money that criminals make from selling drugs. Being the inquisitive man of science that he is, he makes some innocent inquiries and his brother-in-law offers to take him on a ride along on his next drug case. It's time for bed and it seems like Skylar has an online sales business that she's monitoring on her laptop. Walter gets into bed, they start discussing all the things he has to do this weekend and she starts giving him a birthday hand job, which besides being the most unsexy and uncomfortable thing that I've had to watch this entire episode, is not how you give a man a memorable 50th birthday, young lady. What the fuck is a hand job supposed to do for him? He can do that shit himself. What you need to do is get on your knees and give that man the best birthday head he has ever gotten. Some real sloppy toppy throat goat gok 3000 type shit, nigga. I mean, you really should get him a threesome with you and a girl half your age if you really want to give him a memorable birthday present of the sexual variety. But at the very least, you should be sucking this man's dick right now. No questions asked. She starts talking to him like this.
There you go. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going.
But it turns out she was just monitoring the sales on her online business.
Keep. Yes! 56! Oh.
So So it's safe to say that their sex life isn't exactly the most exciting or fulfilling part of their marriage right now. But she really should have just sucked his dick though, I'm just saying. She even went in without lubrication, so you know for a fact she definitely bruised that poor man's birthday meat. The next day, he goes to work, longingly stares at an attractive woman, he starts coughing, passes out, falls on the ground, and we cut to him getting checked out in an ambulance. He tries to downplay the severity of his situation in an attempt to avoid going to the hospital because he doesn't have the best health insurance right now, but ends up getting diagnosed with inoperable lung cancer, and bro just immediately dissociates from reality. His doctor is trying to get him to understand the gravity of his situation, telling him that he might live a few more years if he does chemotherapy, and even then, it's a very big maybe. But bro won't stop hyper-focusing on the minuscule mustard stain on his lab coat. He gets home, Skylar asks him how his day was, and he outrightly refuses to tell her what happened.
How was your day?
It's fine.
He goes back to work, starts having migraines, gets slightly disrespected by his boss, and has a complete meltdown.
Fuck you, Pugda. What? I said fuck you! And your eyebrows!
Wait for it.
Wipe down this!
Bro don't give no fucks anymore. The next day, he takes his brother-in-law up on that ride along offer and observes how they take down the meth lab. He asks to see the actual lab, so Hank and his partner go in to secure the location. That's his brother-in-law's name, by the way, Hank. He's married to Skylar's sister, so he's almost an extended family member. While waiting in the car, Walter spots someone trying to escape from the house. They both lock eyes and it appears that they know each other.
Oh my god. Pinkman?
He runs to his car and takes off, but Walter spots his license plate right before he does. He tracks him back to his house later that night, and it turns out that he's an old student of his. Seeing as how Pinkman just lost his lab and his lab partner, and Walter is currently in need of a better job, he makes him a proposition. Pinkman knows the business and Walter knows the chemistry, so he offers a partnership. Pinkman laughs it off, then Walter threatens to turn him in, so I guess it was more of an ultimatum than a proposition. The next day, Walter steals a bunch of lab equipment from the school he works at and takes it to Pinkman's house. He tells him that the meth he used to cook before was shit, and that they'll be making nothing but purely refined and unadulterated meth from now on. Because I guess if you're going to slowly kill yourself with poison, you might as well get the best kind of poison. Pinkman then informs him that they can't cook drugs at his house, so they decide to get a recreational vehicle in order to have a mobile meth lab, which explains what we saw at the beginning of the episode. Walter hands him money for the RV. It's barely 6 G's and the guy they are buying from wants 85 grand, so Walter tells him to negotiate. Not sure how he's going to negotiate with less than 10% of the asking price, but Pinkman starts pressing him about why he decided to start selling drugs all of a sudden, and he says this.
Nah, come on. Man, some straight like you, giant stick up his ass, all of a sudden at age, 60, he's just gonna break bad?
He said it!
He asks him if he's going crazy or if he has gotten depressed, and Walter says this.
I am awake.
Which is just a very subliminal way of saying, fuck this shit. Nigga! Fuck this shit. He's done. He's only got 2 years left to live and he's sick and tired of getting fucked in the ass. All the risks he refused to take while he was young have finally caught up to him, and now he's having an existential crisis because of all the regrets he has. On top of the literal midlife crisis he was already having before he got his cancer diagnosis. You see, this is unfortunately how a lot of people go about living their lives. They live a relatively lukewarm existence. They don't take any chances. They don't chase any of the dreams they have. They just fall in line, follow the rules, and do exactly as they are told. Then one day, they realize that they essentially wasted their life because they were too afraid to live it the way they really wanted to. And that's exactly what's happening here. Much like other people, I'm very sure that Walter has a lot of regrets that we'll soon come to discover. But the key difference here is that bro literally has nothing left to lose. And I think this is one of the lessons that the show wants us to learn. It's trying to tell us that we should all strive to be like Walter in our day-to-day lives. Now, nobody is telling you to go sell drugs in your underwear with someone half your age or anything. But life would definitely be a lot more interesting if we lived every day like it was our last. They go their separate ways and Walter goes clothes shopping for Walter Jr. with his wife. There's some kids at the store making fun of Walter Jr. and Skylar seems very bothered. She wants to say something, but Walter stops her and he leaves through the back entrance. A few minutes go by, the distant bullying continues, and just when Skylar has had enough, Walter walks in through the front door, pushes the bully to the floor, stomps on his fucking leg, and makes fun of him. Skylar is in shock, but she can't stop staring at her husband. The guy gets up, threatens to punch Walter in the face, and he calls his fucking bluff. They all end up walking away, and Skylar actually looks at her husband with some fucking passion in her eyes for the first time in the episode.
I'll mess you up, man. Or you'll have one shot. You better make it good. What are you waiting for your girlfriends? You better go. You better go. Take it. Take your shot. Take it!
Wait for it.
Come on, let's get out of here. Let's go.
You see, this That's what I'm fucking talking about. Live your life like it's your last day on earth, nigga. Go talk to that fucking girl. Stand up to that fucking bully. Start that fucking business and go do those fucking push-ups or whatever the fuck it is you know you've been running away from. Life is short, nigga. Just go do that shit. Be like fucking Walter. You don't need to wait until you have cancer, my G. Just look at how much fun my nigga Walter is having right now. And I know for a fact that Skyler's finna suck his dick tonight just off the strength of him standing up to that bully that was making fun of his family. By some fucking miracle, they get the RV, drive it out in the middle of nowhere and start cooking. Walter takes off his clothes because he's still a functioning member of society and doesn't want to walk around smelling like a walking meth lab. He makes the purest batch of crystal meth Pinkman has ever seen and he can't fucking believe it. He takes it straight to his guy to negotiate a distribution strategy and he ends up being the cousin of his former partner Emilio that Hank arrested earlier, who, unbeknownst to Pinkman, just got bailed that morning. Being the low-life anxious drug dealer that he is, he obviously thinks that Pinkman set him up, so they both try to take over the operation by getting Walter to work for them. On getting there, Emilio's cousin offers Walter a bag of cash as a way to sweeten the deal, but Emilio recognizes Walter from the ride along, which seemingly confirms suspicions about Pinkman setting him up. They pull out their guns in an attempt to execute Walter and Pinkman, but Walter talks them out of it by offering to teach them how he makes his meth so pure. Pinkman is tied up outside and Walter is inside with Emilio and his cousin, very obviously concocting some sort of poisonous trap with his super sleek scientific sleight of hand, using their obliviousness and ignorance to his advantage. He finishes up his concoction, traps them in the van so they can inhale all the poisonous fumes, then goes outside to free Pinkman. Emilio throws a lit cigarette outside, so now the surrounding bushes are on fire. Dangerous chemicals probably don't mix well with fire, so Walter puts on a mask, puts one on Pinkman because he's currently unconscious, drags him into the RV, drives off, and I do believe that we're now currently all caught up with where we left off in the intro of the episode. Walter is now standing on the road with the gun aimed in the direction of the police for some reason. Still not entirely clear on what exactly his plan is right here, but they are taking too long, so now bro starts overthinking and second guessing himself. He starts freaking out again, gets scared, tries to fucking shoot himself, but he forgot to put the safety off, so he gets frustrated and just decides to give himself up. The sirens finally arrive and it turns out that they were just a bunch of fire trucks and an ambulance. Pinkman wakes up, they clean up the mess, Walter goes home and wrinkles what I assume is the money Emilio's cousin offered him. Oh yeah, Crazy 8. I forgot Pinkman called him Crazy 8 earlier.
That is bullshit, Crazy 8.
Walter goes home and wrinkles what I assume is the bag of money that Crazy 8 offered him in the dryer. And because I recently watched Ozark, I know he's trying to clean the drug money so he can put it through a legal business that will allow him to freely spend his illegal profits in a legal market. At least I think that's what he's doing. He goes to bed, Skylar asks him where he was all day. He stays quiet, she starts bitching about him not talking to her, but like the fucking Sigma male that he is, he ignores her, starts kissing her, flips her around, passionately penetrates his pregnant wife. She lets out a moan in shock and asks,
Is that you?
bro doesn't say a fucking word, proceeds to fuck his pregnant wife even more, and the credits roll.
Is that you?
Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go, nigga! And you know the reason I really wanted to watch this show so fucking bad. This shit is so fucking gangster, nigga. Be like Walter, because if you're not cooking meth in the middle of nowhere, then going back home to fuck your pregnant wife from the back. Are you really a gangster ass nigga? Are you really him? Are you? You better go find out, nigga. Anyway, subscribe to the Patreon for Ben 10 commentary episodes. Right now, they are about 5 tiers, but the important ones are the first 3. So we have the weirdo, big weirdo, and biggest weirdo. The first tier gets 1 commentary episode per month. The second tier gets 2 commentary episodes per month, and the third tier gets 4 commentary episodes per month. And we're also going to be doing a podcast where I react to Reddit stories and Reddit text messages. But the podcast is mainly going to be run by the third tier patrons. Those guys can submit questions and would you rather that I totally have to answer on the podcast, no matter how crazy and outlandish they are. So the podcast is going to be accessible to all patron tiers every single week, but only the third tier patrons have control over the podcast. And there are 2 more tiers with some exclusive VIP content for my patrons of the Big Pocket Persuasion. Link in the description. Be like Walter, and I'll see y'all niggas in the next analysis. Well, this was fun. Whew. Alright, later niggas.